Hello everyone, welcome to Cactus Caffeine. My name is Anna. It is December, so Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and Happy New Year as well in advance. So this is the time of the year when my Thanksgiving cactus bloom for me. As you can see here, I have two pots and I have several colors of Thanksgiving cactus. This is like a reddish type of a holiday cactus or Thanksgiving cactus, more like dark pink to red in color. And then I have a white and pink one in here. And then I found out just this year, I didn't know that I have an orange one or a golden one, which is a surprise for me to see. This is the first time that this color of a Thanksgiving cactus bloomed for me. This pot, I just got this last year. I got it as a cluster. It was two pots and I combined it in one pot. When I bought it, it was in flower. I knew it had this white and pink one and it had this reddish pinkish color, but this one was not in flower last year. So I got lucky. I got three different colors of flower in two pots that I bought. These are epiphytic cacti, so they normally grow on trees and they're actually better seen from below. It would have been better if I had this in like hanging pots, and then you can see the flowers better as they tend to dangle or hang from the cactus itself. This is a Thanksgiving cactus or the Schlumbergera truncata, but it is more commonly sold under the name Thanksgiving cactus. It's actually one of the three holiday cacti available in the market. This is Thanksgiving because it usually blooms around Thanksgiving time, but for me it blooms later. Like it blooms usually December, January sometimes, probably because our fall weather here is still warm. So it doesn't get cool in here until probably around November. So since the cooler weather starts much later here in the desert, these don't bloom around Thanksgiving. Instead, they bloom around Christmas time for me. There is another type of holiday cacti, the Christmas cactus, and I actually have it right here, which is not in flower. This hasn't flowered for me yet. This is relatively new. I just got this in April of this year, and I would like to thank one of my subscribers, Andrea. Andrea is from Massachusetts, so she messaged me and she said she has this big Christmas cactus, the true Christmas cactus, that she needed to prune, and she wanted to send me some of the segments, and so she did. So I got this around April. It came in a very bad condition because it was severely dehydrated. It got delayed in the mail somehow. So when I got it, it was severely dehydrated and crushed. I wasn't really sure if it was gonna make it, but fortunately I was able to root it successfully in water. I had to cut the segments into little pieces, and that's how I ended up with a lot of cuttings. So this hasn't flowered for me. I'm excited to see it flower, but this is the true Christmas cactus. The difference between a Christmas cactus and a Thanksgiving cactus primarily is the time of the year when they flower. So this flowers around October, November, and then this Christmas cactus flowers much later, around December, January. And the difference is in the leaves. So you can tell which one is a true Christmas cactus because a true Christmas cactus or the Schlumbergera bucklei, this has more scallop edge compared to the Thanksgiving cactus, which has more pointy edges right here. So this is a Thanksgiving cactus compared to a true Christmas cactus. But in terms of the flowers, they both have dangling flowers, so they tend to hang. And then there's a third type of holiday cacti, which I don't have. That is the Easter cactus. So as the name suggests, it blooms around Easter time, and that one has more upright flowers. I don't have it right now. I had it before, but somehow I still have not figured out how to take care of it properly. It is usually sold around springtime here. So when I see it in the stores, I'll make sure to grab another one and I'll give it another go. So that third one is the Easter cactus. Now let's talk a little bit about the care of this Thanksgiving cacti. For me, I consider this as my diva cactus. Not because they're hard to take care of, but it's just because of where I live in. I live in a desert, and these are actually jungle type of cacti. They love humidity. They don't like extreme temperatures, and those are actually opposite of what my climate here in the desert is. So here in the desert, we get extreme temperatures. It gets extremely hot during the summer, and then it also gets freezing cold during the winter time. We have very low humidity, and that is why I have to take really extra care to keep these type of cacti alive in my environment. I don't expose these to direct sunlight. Whether I keep them outdoors or indoors, they're always in bright shade. They love temperatures in between 60 degrees Fahrenheit up to about 85 to 90 degrees Fahrenheit maximum. So anywhere more or below that temperature range, I have to keep them indoors. And that is why most of the time, actually, these cacti are indoor cactus or indoor plants for me. I only put them outside during springtime around March, April, probably up to early May, and then I move them indoors during the summertime, and then they only come outside during fall season when the temperatures falls below 90 degrees Fahrenheit. So that is around either late October or sometimes early November. And then during winter, when it goes below 60 degrees Fahrenheit, I have to keep them indoors again. Ooh, I have a hummingbird enjoying my aloes at the back. Intermission. By the way, I found that hummingbird also pollinating these the other day. So these also get pollinated by hummingbirds. If you will notice, this one has more purple edges on the leaves, and that is because this one got too close to my grow light. Since I kept this in my garage under grow lights during this winter time, this one is farther from the grow lights, and that's why the leaves are more green. So it's okay. It won't harm the cactus as long as I keep it not too close to the grow light. So this one got a little bit too close, and that is the result. Now, to compensate for the low humidity that we have in here, whenever I keep this cacti indoors, I spray it or I mist it just to keep the humidity level high around it. During summertime, most especially, I keep this indoors by my kitchen window, so I mist it every now and then instead of frequently watering it, and that might cause root rot. I found out that misting it often also helps it thrive during our summertime. Now, the soil that I use for this Thanksgiving cactus, I use 50% cactus soil and 50% orchid bark. Now, my cactus soil in itself is at a 50-50 ratio, meaning 50% organic and 50% inorganic. And then to that, I add orchid bark. So this is the size, about the size of the orchid bark, more or less, that I mixed with the cactus soil. So again, it is 50% cactus soil and 50% orchid bark. Also, when I plant this, I try to plant a lot in one pot. Like I found out that they actually grow better if they're like fighting for space, a little bit root bound. So that's how I plant them rather than having just one in a big pot. I found out that they like the company. Now let's talk about fertilizer. These get fertilized for me only twice a year. First time is during springtime, and then the second time is fall season, just right before they flower. So I just use a regular cactus fertilizer. Any fertilizer that's formulated for cacti, that is what I use for these type of cactus. One thing I noticed this year is the difference in the color of this flower. Last year, I remember it was more of a dark pink in color, but this year, the flowers turned out to be more red. And I think it is because of the different type of fertilizer that I used this year. I don't think it's because of the change in temperature, because these flowers develop when I was growing them in my garage under grow lights, which is the same situation that I did last year. So the only difference that I could think of is because this year I switched to another type or another brand of fertilizer. I used an organic fertilizer this year compared to last year when I was using a chemical-based fertilizer. And so I noticed the change in color of the flower from this cactus this year. Very interesting. Now let's talk about propagation. The best method for me and the preferred method for me in propagating this type of cactus is through cuttings, and I like to root them in water. You can also get cuttings and root them straight in soil, but for me I have better success if I try to root them in water first. So what you can simply do is just snip off segments. Preferably there should be like at least 3, 1, 2, 3. So maybe 3 or 4 segments is enough for me, and then I root them in water. It takes about 4 weeks to 5 weeks when they start to have a decent amount of fruits, decent enough for them to transplant them in soil. You can also plant these from seed, and to get seed is actually you have to pollinate the flowers. Pollinating the flowers of these is very easy. All you need to do is to transfer the pollen, right here, the pollen, to the stigma, which is the pink one that's sticking out. So transfer the pollen of one flower to another flower. You can either use a brush, or for me, I just find it easier to just rub the flowers against each other and then wait. After a few weeks, when the flower starts to wither, you will see that there will be a swelling developing at the bottom of the flower, and that is the cactus fruit. Now wait for that fruit to get bigger and turn slightly yellow in color or pinkish in color, and that's the time that you will know that the fruit is ripe enough for you to harvest, and then you can get the seeds from there and sow these from seed or grow these from seed as well. Overall, this type of cactus is not difficult to take care of, especially if you live in a more moderate climate or more tropical type of climate. So in summary, bright shade, moderate temperature, high humidity. Only water it when the soil is dry, but don't let it go bone dry for too long. A little bit of fertilizer one time during springtime and then the next during fall season. Let it experience the changing seasons from summer to fall to winter, and that means it should experience a cool down and also shorter days and longer nights, and that will encourage your Thanksgiving cactus to thrive and bloom for you. I made several videos on Thanksgiving cacti, so I did a propagating video, I did a repotting video, as well as a care video. I will make a playlist and you will see the link up on this screen and also below this video. Alright, so again, thank you guys for watching all of my videos and for your support all throughout these years. I truly appreciate all of you. I want to wish you all happy holidays and more blessings in the coming year 2025. So until next time, bye guys, and cheers!